So I wasn't intending to, but I somehow just found myself cycling to Angkor Wat, the world wonder. Woo, very close car. Uh, yeah, as I was saying, I was not planning to go to Angkor Wat today. I was just mindlessly riding my bicycle, and somehow I found myself here at a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Got them crazy monkeys around. I really didn't want to go to Angkor Wat because, as you can see here, there's not a lot of trees. And when I've come previously, there's been a huge jungle forest here. But now it feels a little bit more like Disneyland, where the trees have been pared back and everything's a little bit more coiffed and a little bit more artificial. So here we have it, UNESCO World Heritage Site, not on purpose, accidental trip. Okay, so yeah, here's Angkor Wat, and obviously can't bring my bicycle inside, and you actually do need a ticket, and that's another reason why I don't like Angkor Wat these days, is because you require a ticket, and every juncture, every intersection has ticket minders, which I really don't like, and it really feels like Disneyland. And if you know me, I hate Disneyland. I don't hate it, that's too strong of a word, but I severely dislike it for its artificiality. And one of the things that I don't come here anymore is essentially, like I said, they do check your tickets everywhere, and it wasn't like this in the past. And so every checkpoint you have to show out your ticket, and it really takes away and detracts from the attraction and the beauty of this place. So that's why I don't come here anymore on purpose, but I just mindlessly ended up riding my bicycle here. So I will just ride around the perimeter and continue on my path. Susaday, Kanyum Jamu Austin. My name is Austin. I successfully navigated past the gatehouse. I'm gonna do a little bit undressing here, so better cover your eyes. But yeah, I wasn't able to get past that first gatehouse because I was wearing standard, tourist shirt. Welcome to Cambodia tourist shirt. It's one of my favorite shirts. So I covered up at the next checkpoint and I got through. Coincidentally, I ran into a tour guide that I met a couple years ago. So I was like, hey, I know you. It was kind of like Spider-Man. Hey, you know you. And so I was able to just walk through. And yeah, now we're here inside the Angkor Wat Park. And this is actually the back. Once again, I was not planning to come today. So this is where we are right now, is all the way at the back. In front of me, which is down that way, would be the actual Angkor Wat. And so if you walk all the way from the front where the first video was all the way to here, I can't remember, maybe it's like a 40-minute straight through walk. But this is the back of Angkor Wat that we're at right now. And in years past, this actually wasn't accessible. I remember the first time I came down here, I'm not going to say the year, I don't want to age myself and prejudice my younger viewers, but many years ago when I was here, this was not accessible. And I remember reading the signs at the time, and they were saying, yeah, we know that there's something back here behind this thick thicket of jungle and forest, but we couldn't get past it because there was too many trees. But they knew through LiDAR that there was another temple behind. So fast forward so many years later, you can now actually walk through, whereas in decades and years past, it was only the main Angkor Wat available. So now you can actually walk all the way through to the other side of the moat, from one end to the other. So it looks like they did a really shoddy job on the construction here, or I should say on the reconstruction here. And it's very unfortunate because a lot of places, a lot of different countries have come in, I guess, with their different archaeological techniques, and some of them have really messed up the reconstruction and the renovation of these temples. This one looks like it still has false work around, and it doesn't look like they're doing any more work. So I don't know why they don't just take it down, but nonetheless, it's still here. Okay, here we are, 5 p.m. the backside of Angkor Wat. Not a lot of people here. I think the best time to come is sunset. You'll see a lot of packages for the sunrise tour, but I believe that's a scam. The light is so much better at sunset, and there's so few people. But here we are at the back of Angkor Wat. One of the things that's really degraded over time is the stone has gotten really black, and I don't know for what reasons. Sure, you might want to say climate change. The other major change has been these wooden steps. In years past, you could climb directly on the stone, which obviously definitely degrades the structure. So it is good that you can climb up proper wooden steps instead of, using your hands and your feet literally to climb up these steps. The angles were very steep back in the day. Not, I should say back in the day, but the way it was designed, the angles of the steps were very steep. So you really literally had to crawl on your hands and feet to get to the top of the Wat over there. So yeah, as I was saying, in years past, the sandstone was more of a sandstone color, more of a tan color, more of a reddish brown color, but man, it's just really degraded over the years. The entire roof is just black. My gut feeling is that it's because of acid rain. But I'm not a scientist, so I don't know. But you can see right here how there's these different striations and patterns in color between the original brown and this other black color. But here we are, sunset. Like I'm telling you, sunset here in Angkor Wat is so much better than sunrise. So please don't sign up for any stupid sunrise tour. You're just wasting your energy, and you need more beauty sleep to explore the better parts and the better times of Angkor Wat. So yeah, definitely come during sunset. Inside, and here's another thing that I don't like anymore. Sorry for being so negative, but apparently there's a curated path now. So I came in through the back and I was gonna go walk through this way, but now there are signs, and these signs weren't even here 2 years ago. Now they have a curated way. Before, you could walk all around in any direction you want. It looks like nowadays they're putting you on a very strict and regulated path, which further emphasizes my point of this being a very Disneyland experience, which I don't like. Let's go over here. So see, they're telling you which way to go. And if you know your Buddhism, there's many paths to Dharma, okay? So there's not just one way. But we all know, of course, that there is one way, and the one way that works is the one way that works. So you can't just say there's only one way here when there's multiple paths through here. So that's another thing which I don't really like, is that they put you on this narrated, curated path, when in years past, not too long ago, you could just freely explore anything you want in any direction. But I'm just gonna walk through this way anyways, show you a little bit about these wall reliefs. Let's just pretend that I walked all the way from that end to here, and now I'm gonna walk back from this end to here. So here you see these beautiful wall reliefs. A lot of these pictures, I don't know about this wall in particular, but a lot of these are showing battle scenes, and a lot of them probably are most likely to show battle scenes about those evil Thai folks. The name Siem Reap, that's the name of the town in which Angkor Wat is based, and Siem Reap basically means the destruction of Siem, and Siem is the old name for Thailand. So they were neighbors but mortal enemies back in the day, a few centuries ago, and the Angkorian Empire actually destroyed the Thais. And so they put all these reliefs onto their walls here, and that's what we have. Let's show you the ceiling over here. These are probably, lotus flowers. Lotus symbolizes peace. Once again, I'm telling you, the best time to come is sunset. So more reliefs, just a lot of battles. So you have, normal Khmer people down here. Then you have some of these Garudas and these other demonic beings here. And then you have other holy Buddhist monk people up here. And then of course you have the heavens up here. And you can tell this is a royal court scene right here, just based on the courtesans that are kind of hanging around here. I feel very much like a weatherman, and I think my career should have been as a meteorologist in front of the camera, as opposed to some wanderlustist. So yeah, you can see like this is probably like the banyan tree. You got some doves. Lots of battle scenes, as I mentioned here. Okay, that's it, and we're gonna cross through right now. Oh, see, as I mentioned, heaven and hell. So yeah, I came from the back, so all this knowledge is just self-knowledge through self-learning and reading my history books over the years through primary, secondary, and tertiary education. But if you read the signs and you look at the wall, the writings are on the wall, and you will learn a lot. Okay, so this is the Angkor Wat temple. And man, it is really sanded down. I feel like even from 2 years ago, it's even worse from 2 years ago. Like, you can't even distinguish some of this detail here. But for those who don't know, Angkor Wat is the largest religious complex in the universe, the known universe, which currently consists of just Earth, really. But Angkor Wat is the home of the largest religious complex on Earth. It was originally founded as a Hindu structure, and then the locals abandoned Hinduism because it wasn't working out for them, and they decided to adopt Buddhism instead. So that's why you see a lot of Hinduistic motifs in their architecture and design. But the locals did believe that this was kind of the center of the universe. They believed that this was the portal to heaven and hell, and that's why they built the largest religious complex in the known universe here in Siem Reap. So here we are at sunset. Once again, I'm making my big plug. I probably shouldn't say this anymore, but sunset is way better than sunrise. So do come here fast before this thing melts into oblivion. You'll probably still be fascinated, I think. Look, and here's a whole bunch of Buddhas right there. So obviously this is going to be a part of the Buddhist motifs that were added on to the original Hindu structure. But I'm getting lonely, and I think that's going to be the end of this video. I want to get out of here before it gets completely dark. Okay, see you. Wish me luck. Thank you very much. So this is many, many years ago. You used to be able to climb up these steps, but now they don't let you climb up anymore. But you can access from the other end over here. But just for scale, hold on for a second. Yeah, don't be those Europeans that are mocking the locals. Even if you don't participate in the local religion, don't mock them, okay? But yeah, so as I was saying, these are the steps. So this gives you some scale, right? They're very, very shallow steps, but the people back then were small, just like the people today are pretty small. And so they had smaller feet, which means more shallow steps, which means more steep steps, many, many steep steps. So like I was mentioning a few minutes ago, you really had to climb and crawl with your hands and feet to get to the top. But now they have put wooden steps on either end for you to access. Yep. So let's continue on. Okay, so as I mentioned, if you do want to take the steps, you have to go to the end or the front. But see how steep it is? Even these artificial new steps are quite a doozy. So just imagine doing this in the old days. Okay, I don't remember this stupa being so flat-topped from years ago, but as it is, that's just the natural weathering of time. But oh man, the reconstruction is really bad. Like, this is new. I don't know if this was here a couple years ago, but man, I just feel like they just did a horrible job on some of this renovation. Like, yeah, it just does not match, and so it's so painfully obvious. Just the distinct variation in color, it just does not match. I prefer the old derelict state than the new one. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of, Disneyland and such, and I think with these artificial edifices, it just looks and feels even more fake. But, I guess if you've never been here before, then this is a sight to behold, and it's definitely something else, because there's nowhere else that looks like this. Okay, now that I'm taking a closer look at these new cornices, I can tell these are actually structural modifications to keep the entire temple standing. So there's a reason why these new pieces are only at the edges and only at the corner of, the corner and the base of the structure. It's to keep the rest of the temple up. Because without a good, strong foundation and cornerstone, everything else in your life will collapse. And so, yeah, you can see it's the same thing over here, where they have right over there the artificial one. So weathering and erosion at the side, so they had to do this to maintain structural integrity. But otherwise, they haven't really restored other parts, mainly because they want to keep in situ what it looks like. But unfortunately, such things happen, is when you insert a new stone that's only 1 year old, it's going to look a whole lot different than the stone that's 1,000 years old. Once again, you'll get all of 2 people at the sunset, and keep in mind, at sunset, another reminder, very few people. You can take your Instagram, not just for 60 seconds, but maybe even 60 minutes with these few visitors. But as I mentioned here again, since I'm starting from the back, I don't know any of the information, and I haven't been here in years. So they are doing renovations and retrofits to the entire place. And as I mentioned, without knowing, yeah, they are doing structural reinforcements to Angkor Wat. And looks like they just started a few months ago. So this is the library, and they're gonna it looks like they're gonna put on a roof on top of here. So you can still access this. You just won't be able to go from the library. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here. It's getting dark. I want to be able to get out of here before the shadows come in. In my forthcoming book, I will talk about how I navigate life walking backwards. But in this video, you're gonna get a view, a behind the scenes look of me walking backwards in time to Angkor Wat, coming from the exit, going through to the entrance. So, I hope you enjoy this sunset show.